Hello, I'm Monica Price and welcome to Cuppa TV. On today's show, I'm joined by Debra and Sean Stewart from the Debra Housing Association. Also today, I go along to Johnny Robinson's new single launch night and look out for who I'm about to interview. My first guests are Debra and Sean Stewart from Debra Housing Association. Debra deals with the grassroots problems within the local community through the provision of a good standard of living accommodation. Welcome. So, thank you so much for coming. So Sean and Debra, thank you. So Debra, tell us a little bit about Debra Housing Association. Where did it all begin?
It began, I set up an estate agent. I've always offered a little bit more than the traditional estate agent. Mainly because I grew up in an environment and on a council estate where there was many issues with tenants in the area. Went to school with that type of client and realised as time went on it was very difficult to get into employment. They had other issues and of course most of them were friends. So I felt as I got older and got into the business that I could probably do more for them. A lot of people, such as vulnerable adults, find it difficult to find housing. It's really taken a chance on people and getting them to sort of cooperate with you and addressing their issues that they have. One day I had a guy approach me. He came outside my office in a car, said to me, "I'm homeless. This is where I'm living. This is my clothes. This is my home. Can you help?" Stood back and thought, oh gosh, this is reality here. He said, no one else wants to help me. What do I do? Do I continue living in my car? It's not worth living. From there on, I took a chance on the guy. I got him into housing. He's now in full-time employment and he's had a young baby and his partner is also into part-time work. So from then on, I've realised the potential of people if they're just given a chance.
Just give them the opportunity, really.
That's right,
Giving them the opportunity enables them to do other things. And Sean, would you say, you were saying there, Debra, it was the young. Do you find that's true? Is the young vulnerable are really, they are the most vulnerable group of people?
I think across society as a general kind of thing nowadays, there's a lots of vulnerable classifications. Vulnerable children are very widely publicised. There's quite a lot of media coverage for that kind of age group. But when people are adults, there tends to be less coverage of an adult with issues. And again, because of Debra's position within housing on the private side of the business, and her realising there was a market there on the other side, where obviously this is where the association developed. Vulnerable adults, if you give them the right stepping blocks and put the right foundations in place, you can bring about sustainable change to the lives of an individual. And that has all kind of encapsulated the programme that we've now got in place to deal specifically with an individual's issues so that they can make the changes that will lead them forward to a brighter future. So
it is a very bespoke individual service that you offer. So tell us a little bit about it. Tell us about this programme, Debra, that you've got in place.
The programme really comes from obviously me working and living amongst this type of client. We identify their needs and their potential. Obviously, when they come to us, they haven't got any potential. They feel worthless. Nobody wants to listen to them. Just giving them the time and just sit with them and let them speak on how they feel, what they want to do, or, you know, really the ambitions.
Perhaps
trying to
achieve something to dream.
That's right.
Giving them something to dream about.
Yeah, well, we've got it's quite a comprehensive package that we put in place. We work very closely with lots of partner agencies, so we work on a referral programme. So when someone's referred to us, we can get quite a detailed account of the history, issues, whether it's family, medical, prolific offenders, drug and alcohol rehabilitation. So we can see quite a detailed account of where the individuals come from. So we can sit down, interview the individual on a face-to-face basis. We can discuss it with the referring agency and we can see where the person is now. So we've seen where they've come from, what have they done to change that situation, and what can we then put in place to take them from where they are now to take them forward so we can get the lasting changes that we aim for.
And do you find that when you're dealing with the young people, I mean, everybody's different. Does some want to make that change, Sean?
Yes.
But some,
Yeah.
you know, you might lead someone there, Deborah, you know, to lead the horse to the water.
Well,
you know, but do they actually say, actually, I don't want to do this anymore?
Well, we can recognise that in them, obviously, with our experience. We don't want anyone that want to live on benefits as a lifestyle. We don't want that. I'm a taxpayer, my family's taxpayers. You know, we want them to make a difference with their life. And me not taking any money from them and providing them with a good standard accommodation to enable them to move on in their life and achieve what they'd like to achieve. If I can turn things around, anyone can. So they look at me and think, well, yeah, Deb, you know, we can do it with your help and with the help of the staff and the outside bodies that we use. We just recognise and identify what they need. All we ask from them is their commitment, the commitment to us, to follow our programme and be guided by us. And we will support them 100% of the way to get back into work, off benefits, be fully integrated into the community, and eventually the estate agency side kicks in because we would like them then to purchase their own property.
Yeah, so it's kind of really taking it from the beginning, and then you almost see it through to the end.
Yeah, we've tried to create a complete package. So we take someone from what would be their starting point.
Yeah, so let's go from the very beginning. So a vulnerable adult, what would they do?
An
They'd
individual would come
you?
to us, they'd be referred to us, we'd sit down and go through quite an extensive process to assess the individual. We need to identify that the individual does want to change. Because as you've said,
how do you do that? How do you do
again,
that?
it's again because we've got experienced staff and people who have all come from a background where they've experienced issues or been directly affected by somebody with issues. You can relate to an individual, and again through the referring agency and assessing their background since they've been with the other organisation, what changes have they made? So the transition may have already started. So we then step in by providing this good accommodation. We can take care of all the correct benefits, making sure they've got heating, lighting. We can put things in place to give them that grassroots, that foundation. And from there, we can identify through speaking to the individual, what's your aspirations? You know, what skills have you got? What education have you got? What work experience have you got? What would you like to continue to do in the future to make your life better? And again, through our other extensive partnership network, we then look at, right, well, you want this is what you would like to achieve. So how can we facilitate that? And then we will then either use the right partner agencies or the right members of our team to try and see that through to a reality so that we can take someone from that point in their life through to employment or achieving the things that they've always wanted to achieve but never been able to do so.
So it's really important, isn't it, that you use the other services around you, so you really work together, cooperation really,
Yes.
Which is key, would you say, Deborah, to what you're trying
Yes,
to do?
it is, because obviously they're experienced in their field as well, and we bring that on board in what we do. We have health professionals such as doctors that specialise in substance abuse. They're looking to work closer with us to perhaps have a scheme in place where we can see them through the whole process in trying to get them off drugs and alcohol. So there's a lot of positive things that's happening within the business, and we're expanding tenfold. We've got that many people that want to be housed with us. Obviously, we can only grow as quickly as we can.
There's a great demand for
Yes,
the service.
it's in a way though, that's quite sad that there is a demand for your service. Do you feel that?
Well, we all know that with certainly as it stands at the moment, because of the extensive government cuts, there's less and less funding available for the people who are classed as vulnerable. So we've experienced, certainly in the last 6 to 8 months, an increase in people requiring our assistance. But at the same time, we've had to really strip the business back, and it's had quite a negative effect on the end user, which would be the tenant, because of issues that we've experienced with local authority.
It's one of those things, I think, that people just they know about it, but perhaps they don't know quite what to do. You know, so with your programme, you're actively encouraging people to actually get out of the situation that they may have found themselves in for whatever reason. You know, they may not be there because they never want to be there. I would assume that because they want to be there. It's just that circumstances are such that they found themselves there.
Well, I think you can't expect someone to just make change. If you can give them the tools to make the change, they're more likely to achieve that change. And what we found is that because we can give them the tools and assist them to see that forward, it does work. And we've got countless individuals who've come to us. I mean, the best example would be the homeless couple that Debra spoke about earlier. You know, they're both now working with a young baby, and so that, you know, that transition has come full circle. They're off benefits. We've achieved the long-term goal. The local authority don't tend to appreciate the long-term goal as opposed to the short-term gain, which is saving money. But obviously, the cycle is that if you don't get them off the benefits, that pool of money will always be depleted. We try to change that.
Yeah, so it is really an ongoing, if you like, part of your programme, really,
Yes.
to working with the other partners. But well, we're going to leave it there. We're going to go take a quick break. So come back and join us again after the break. Come back and join us again. Okay, I'm now joined by the lovely Johnny Robinson. Johnny, what would you like to say to all the Cuppa TV viewers?
Good morning, all you Cuppa TV viewers out there, and thank you for joining us.
Fantastic. So, Johnny, let's start at the very beginning. Your journey was really, where did it start? Where did it all begin?
Well, exactly, where did it all begin? Well, it did begin at the X Factor, but prior to that, I actually auditioned for Britain's Got Talent, dressed as a woman, like this.
Did you?
Yeah, well, we're in a dental studio. I've been so busy, I had to come in for a scrape and a polish. You know what I mean? And do this interview at the same time.
It's so... So that's where you started, and then from there you went on to X Factor, of course. And then what was that experience like?
It was hard work, Monica, if I'll be honest with you. It was hard work, but it was worth it in the long run, you know, because, you know, well, people do know me now, you know. I know it sounds odd, but they do.
And people
but they might not know me like this, would they?
But see, people do remember you though, Johnny. There's no
Well, that's
doubt
a good
about it.
thing.
Yes, isn't that? I was going to say, do you think that's a good thing?
I do, because you could be sort of like Beyonce or Rihanna, and well, they ain't got brilliant voices, but I mean, you could have like this amazing voice, but just be really, really boring, and people forget you. But if you're a little bit different, people will remember you. And I've been very, very, very lucky, Monica, that people do remember me, and I'm very, very grateful for that, and I'm very lucky. So I just try and do what I do, you know. Yeah.
And what inspires you, Johnny? What
What inspires me? Do you mean what?
From a performance point of view, you know, when you get up and you put on your beautiful outfits, what makes you think, you know, I'm going to go out there and take the world by storm today?
Well, I don't normally think like that, but I am at the moment, because we've been working on this project for a long time.
Yes.
And it's this, I've done an album, and it's lots of female singers like Kylie Minogue, Sarah Brightman, Kate Bush, people like that, and I've done their songs. And I always wanted to do it in a female mode, because I don't think it would be as exciting dressed in a suit and a pair of glasses doing these quirky songs with this quirky voice, you know, that I've got this singing voice. But I just like doing it, because I like to call it theatrical pop.
Yes.
That's my new spin on it.
Is that your new spin on it?
Yeah, theatrical pop. You had Lady Gaga with art pop, but now you got Johnny Robinson with theatrical pop.
And Johnny, tell us about this project. What's your new single? What's it called?
Well, my new single is called Eaten Alive, and it's actually a cover. It is a cover because it was originally sung by Diana Ross and Michael Jackson, and written by the Bee Gees, Barry Gibb, Maurice Gibb, and I forgot the other ones now. Andy Gibb.
Andy Gibb,
yeah,
yes.
Andy Gibb. I love the Bee Gees. Yeah, so we did this cover version of this song, and I think we've made it a lot more now, because it was recorded originally back in the 80s, where analog, monologue, and in music studios these days it's changed so much for recording, and it's just nice to bring it up to date to a modern standard and bring it back to life. I think we've done a great track with it.
Was that important to you, bringing it back, sort of, as you say, up to the...
Yeah, because when I heard it, my producer Scott, he loves the song, and he played it to me, and I went, I don't like that. It's a bit of a clang and a bang like that. Because if you check out the original, it's very early, late 80s sounding. And but no, what we've done, and I said, okay, let's sing it. I'll give it a go. And then we were in the studio mixing it, and we thought, no, this needs to go there, that needs to go there. and it sounds amazing, and I'm really happy with it.
And you've got a very supportive crew around you. I mean, I've
I'm
met some of them this evening.
very, very lucky, honestly, Monica. I've got some lovely, lovely friends that all work with me and help me, you know, to try and get my foot up that ladder, because it's a very, very tough business, Monica.
And
it's very hard.
It's very hard. Well, it is though, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is. It's a very hard business in the music industry, and I don't think people perhaps realise just how hard
They don't.
it is.
It's very cutthroat.
What do you find the most frustrating thing about the music industry at the moment?
Well, what I find
Do you have a list?
Really, yeah, exactly, Monica. I need a list. I mean, what annoys me is that most of the people that are around performing today, not all of them, you know, but they can't sing. They can't sing. They're not very good. They're just used sort of like for their looks. And it's not really based on talent. It's more based on what someone looks like. Hence I thought, oh, I'll make myself look a bit more glamorous, it might work, do you know what I mean? But wait and see. But yeah, that's what I believe. And I mean, because like I said, I prefer people with real pure talent that write their own songs, play their own instruments, produce their own records. There's not many people around like that. That is what you call a musical artist. And what you're going on about is what I call a pop star, which is manufactured throwaway garbage pop, because you've got very, very short shelf life. And like some people like Cheryl Cole, I mean, she's not going to be around in 15, 20 years time. No one will be playing her records. Not like people, when you compare her to somebody like Kate Bush, who's I just idolise. I'm a massive Kate Bush fan. I mean, when I was a young child, I used to sing Wuthering Heights. That was the first record I ever bought.
I was just about to say, because you should do a cover.
I've done it.
Wuthering
I've done Running Up That Hill as well.
Fantastic.
But she's, like I said, she is a proper musician. And if you can, then you've got Cheryl Cole or Cheryl Tweedy, Bassini, Versace, Spagbol, whatever she calls herself now, because she's going with a Frenchman. I mean, I don't get it. I don't get it. It's just a pretty face or whatever. That's what frustrates me, is where I've actually seen really, really talented singers that are so much better. I mean, you could go down the pub and see better singers on a karaoke than you see on the X Factor some weekends. You can, it's true.
And I think for you as an artist,
Yeah.
I mean, you've just grown so much though, haven't you?
I have, and
Yeah.
I'm
Do
a
you
lot
feel
more
that?
confident. I do, and I'm quite happy where I'm at the moment. You know, I may not be Madonna, I may not be Beyonce, but I am being me, and I'm not being manufactured, and I'm enjoying what I do. And if people don't like it, they don't have to listen to it. I'm happy with that. If they don't want to watch me, they don't have to watch me. I'm happy with that. But I love everybody, because life's too short and there's enough misery in this world at the moment. I just want to bring in a little bit of laughter, a little bit of happiness, because when you turn the telly on these days, it's depressing. It is. But that's why you've got to tune into Cuppa TV, because it's much more cheerful.
You can come on anytime you like.
Aww.
But what about songwriting for you, Johnny? Would you
Yeah.
consider doing some songwriting
I do.
yourself?
I have
Fantastic.
I've written 3 songs for the album that I've done, 3 original
Yeah,
songs.
now tell us about the album.
Well, the album, it's mainly covers, obviously, but the X Factor does that with their top-selling artists. So I just wanted to do it for fun, because all the songs that I've done are by a female artist. Not many men would do them, or wouldn't even want to touch or go near the song to do. So I've sort of like done Kate Bush, Sarah Brightman. We're doing a follow-up to Eaten Alive, which is going to be a Sarah Brightman song, which we've done. We're going to shoot the video in a few weeks' time. And but most of them are all the female artists that have done, and that is why with this project I wanted to be dressed in my female mode. So it's a much more theatrical, like I said, the theatrical pop. And I've just done Loren's Euphoria as well, which I love. It's a fantastic track. But I mean, the impact I think is better. Now people have seen me on the X Factor as like a, you know, plain boring looking person, nerdy looking, you know, they make me look. But, you know, I always wanted to be a little bit more pizzazzy, a little bit more sparkly. I did ask, oh, can I get dressed in sort of like drag to do a Lady Gaga number, Born This Way? Oh no, it's a family show. And I thought, what? I mean, I think that's just ridiculous, because at the end of the day, you used to have Lily Savage, Paul O'Grady dressed as Lily Savage, doing blankety blank, Blankety blanket. He used to do that.
That's right, I remember that.
And that was brilliant, you know. And all of this fun element seems to be taken away from the industry at the moment. You don't even see Dame Edna anymore. You don't see.
You've hit on a note there because do you feel that fun has gone out of the music industry?
Definitely. It's just, I don't like it now. I mean, R&B, rap, whatever. I mean, if you listen to rap, they're saying the N-word, they're saying this word, swear words, shoot, stab, and all. It's quite threatening and intimidating and violent. I just like it, you know, music to be either something you listen to relax, something you love to listen to, something to have fun to, or something that means something to you. Because I mean, most songs, if you really love music, they normally have a meaning in a certain time, certain part of your life. Like Etta James, At Last. I mean, I loved the song when I heard it, but that will always have a special meaning for me in my life now, because that's what I auditioned the X Factor with.
Oh right,
Yeah.
that was the new single. Yeah, it's brilliant.
Oh, I'm glad you liked
It's
it, Bonnie.
brilliant,
Thank
and
you.
it makes you smile. Which
I hope
is
so.
that what you wanted? That's
That's
what you were
all.
going
You know,
for.
I'm not Beyonce or Madonna or whatever. I know that. You know, I know I'm just Johnny Robinson, but you know, a lot of people say, well, why don't you use your old drag name? But I always say, well, is there any need to really? Because Danny LaRue, he used to perform in Dressed as a Woman, but a lot of drag queens don't actually sing. They mime, don't they?
Yes.
So I wouldn't say I'm a drag queen. I would say more a female impersonator.
Fantastic.
Because I get up and do the song and perform. Because that's what I like to do, is perform.
So would you like to give us a little performance now
Of
for
what
our
would you like
viewers?
to do?
Whatever you'd like to do, whatever you feel comfortable
Oh, here
doing.
we are. I'll give you a little bit of this.
Okay, go on then.
I dreamed a dream in time gone by, when hope was high and life worth living. I dreamed that love would never die. How was that?
That was amazing. That's